Hi, I'm Susie Garden, and this is the Ageless and Awesome podcast. I'm an age-defying naturopath and clinical nutritionist, and I'm here to bust myths around women's health and aging so that you can be ageless and awesome in your 40s, 50s, and beyond. The Ageless and Awesome podcast is dedicated to helping women through perimenopause and menopause with great health, a positive mindset, and outrageous confidence. Hit subscribe or follow now, and let's get started. Hello, gorgeous one, and Happy New Year. Today is my first day back in the office, and I know for a lot of people it's their first day back at work. And if you're lucky enough to be still on holidays this week, I hope you're having an incredible time and managing some awesome self-care and some fun while you are on holidays. And I hope everyone has had a great couple of weeks over the holiday season, even if, like me, you're in southeast Queensland and getting hammered by super bad weather. Oh my gosh, it's an awful. But I'm very lucky, I feel, because I haven't had any property damage, but I know there's many people who have. So if you're one of those, I'm thinking of you. I feel for you. We've got a number of friends that still don't have their power back after 2 weeks. So, it's pretty bad in many areas around my local area. So I hope you're taking care of yourself. But today I wanted to talk about what you are probably getting hammered with in your social media feed, on commercial radio or TV, or on the sides of buses. It's like everywhere that you look at the moment is you're getting hammered with ads for weight loss, for new year, new you, which I personally hate. New year, new you. And today I wanted to talk about that, like why I hate it so much. I think I do a podcast on this probably every year since I've been doing the podcast. I know I've done a number of blog posts on it over the years. I haven't this year. Maybe I will. But yeah, I really hate it. And there's a number of reasons for this. The big overriding reason, I guess, is that for the majority of people, this just simply does not work. It just simply does not work. And I feel like it sets people up for failure. And there's also, I guess, an element of what I feel is preying on people's vulnerabilities at this time of year. And that's why you see all of these ads around from about mid-December. So, when I look at the stats, and the stats vary depending on the source, but the stats that I seem to come up most strongly or most commonly in terms of do New Year's resolutions work? Well, here's the stats. Around 23% of people give up by January 7. This is American data, by the way. I should make that clear. So around 23% of people give up by January 7. So 7 days, gone, done. 43% quit by the end of January. 43%. So if you add those two numbers up, what's that? 66% of people have given up by the end of the first month. And around 9% of people actually complete their New Year's resolution in whatever length of time by the end of that year. Generally, that's where New Year's resolutions kind of sit. And the thing is, when we look at what are the top New Year's resolutions that people have, they are, and this is in no particular order: lose weight, eat healthily, and exercise more. So this is totally in my wheelhouse, which is why I wanted to speak about it today, because, I know for me, I am flooded at the moment with inquiries, which is great because it is important, as you'll see as I get towards the end of this podcast, to actually work with someone who knows what they're doing, and that will really improve your success rate. Because what I see, and certainly for myself, because I have set loads of New Year's resolutions in the past, I have totally embraced New Year, New You. And the thing is, I know I'm sounding super negative. The thing is that when we look at certain dates like New Year, like birthdays in particular, they're probably the two top ones. Psychologists say these are actually pretty good little milestones to make changes in life. There is a sense of optimism. There is a sense of motivation, and, other people around you are often doing the same thing, particularly at New Year. Maybe not so much your birthday, but New Year, there is, may have a group of friends that are helping keep each other accountable. And that is awesome. I'm all for that. So, there are some really positive things about New Year's resolutions. Because of that, you get that support around you. And a lot of us are on holidays or having time off around that time. So it's easy to kind of get organized, set yourself up with a routine, take the time to write everything out that you want to do. If it's eating healthily, for example, doing the grocery shopping, planning out your week, all of that sort of thing. So the time is on your side, which is fantastic. So there are a lot of really great reasons to do this around this time of year. But I guess what I'm talking about really is this, the more blanket statements of New Year, New You, that things are just going to magically happen, which they won't. And there are some reasons that I see. This is not, on a list anywhere, but these are the reasons that I see that people haven't had success in the past. And I know this is what people tell me when I have my pre-screening calls, because as you know, if you've been on my website, if you've been in my space for a little while, you know that I don't let people book in, or rather purchase the Glow Protocol or Metabolic Balance directly off my website. I don't think, personally for me, that that's an ethical boundary that I have. I don't think that it's the right thing to just enroll people without having a conversation, without understanding a little bit about where they're at with their health, with their goals, with their mindset. I don't take people into my program unless I'm confident that I can help them. But I think I'm getting off on a tangent here. Getting back to the pre-screening calls, people tell me, and most people that are getting on these calls with me have tried multiple other things, lower pricing, such as gym membership challenges, challenges that you do, like 6-week challenges and things like that. They've done maybe Weight Watchers, they've done Light and Easy, they've done a whole manner of things, keto, paleo, all of the things. And a lot of the time when people come to me, they're really confused. So there is an element of confusion there. And I think that comes from having tried multiple different things and having a lack of knowledge about what actually works specifically for you. I know for me personally, in the past, before I was a trained nutritionist, when I was working in the pharmaceutical industry, I had many years where I was like, yep, I'm going to lose weight this year. And I would be having a fruit-free granola or muesli rather, for my breakfast, with skim milk and a glass of orange juice, because I thought, well, that's really healthy. And I'd be starving by 9 a.m. So I'd be having a muffin, the blueberry muffin, because that's not cake. That's a muffin. It's healthy. You know what I'm getting at. When you don't have that knowledge, and when we are kind of, I don't like using the word brainwashed, but it's true. We have, I guess, falsely advertised to that certain things are healthy when they're just not, when really all you need to be eating is real food. You don't need to be taking the fat out. You don't need to be taking the juice out of the orange. You just need to eat real food. But it's got to be the right food for you. So having a lack of knowledge, I think, is a huge hurdle and a huge reason why people fail. Because when you don't have that knowledge and you don't get the results and you feel like you're working really hard, and I've been there, you feel like I'm doing all the things, I'm missing out on so many foods that I like to eat, and I'm going to the gym and I'm hating it. It just, that lack of knowledge really makes a huge difference when it comes to New Year's resolutions and New Year, New You. The other big thing, because I'm only going to focus on two things today, because I really do think it's these two things. It's a lack of knowledge, and it is the mindset that often we come into in New Year. And mindset around diet, in particular, the diet mindset, I call it, where there's a belief that, well, I only have to do this to get to my goal weight, and then I can just go back to what I was doing because I'll be at my goal weight. And when I was in my 20s, it was really easy to stay at my goal weight, which it was. So having this diet mindset, having this mindset that this is just happening for a fixed period of time, and then I can just, do whatever. Unfortunately, ladies and gents, if you're listening, I know I do have a few men that listen to the podcast. Having that diet mindset, it doesn't work. Once you hit your 40s, unfortunately, your 40s, your 50s and beyond, our metabolisms just don't work like that anymore, including mine. And having that mindset that you only have to eat a certain way or go to the gym or whatever for a certain period of time to reach that goal, it's just not going to work anymore. And so having more of that long-term view, and therefore finding things that are going to fit into your lifestyle for the long term, things that are going to work for you so that it's easy and it's fun and it's joyous and you feel good, and you feel so good that you don't want to do anything else. I know for me personally, I've just had 2 weeks off and I've been drinking more than I normally drink. I've been having more kind of savory foods. I'm normally a sweet tooth person, but I haven't really been into it so much this holiday. But, things like cheese platters and chips and things like that I know I don't even feel good after I eat it. I feel horrible. So it was very easy for me to come off holidays today. I was actually really looking forward to it and getting back into my routine, and all of the things that I normally do that I know work really well for me, make me feel really good and help me maintain the weight that I want to be and my sleep and all of the things. So having a mindset that this new year, new you is actually a long-term new you is critical for success. Absolutely critical. So as you know, with me, I'm all about the how, all about the how. So these are the things that I think if you're doing new year, new you, having some New Year's resolutions, I think that's awesome. And I think I can give you some tips that may help just to be successful with them. And I'd say the number one thing is to be really clear about what you want. When I mentioned those 3 kind of top resolutions, they're really wishy-washy. Lose weight, eat healthily, exercise more. What do these actually mean? What does exercise more mean? Does it mean going to the gym once a week? Does it mean walking every day? Does it mean doing yoga randomly? What does it actually mean? What does lose weight mean? Do you have a goal in mind? Do you have, an event, a timeline that you want to be that particular weight? Or is it not about weight specifically? Is it more about some of your medical conditions or things like body pain or managing your hormones? Maybe that is more what you actually want to do, and having some weight loss will help with that. And the same with eating healthily. What does that mean? Does it mean that you're only eating, donuts on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays? Maybe that's what it means to you. Maybe it means you're eating having diet sodas instead of having sugar sodas. Maybe that's eating more healthily for you. So these are very wishy-washy, and to make these really, really clear will really help you. So for example, eating healthily, an example of that might be having veggies and salad with each meal. So I'm going to eat pizza, but I'm going to make sure I have a salad with it. And that to me is eating more healthily. Well, that's great because you're going to be eating more salad. So that's awesome. So being really clear about what you actually want and what's going to fit in to your lifestyle is fantastic. And the thing is, it's also, particularly with weight loss, I think it's important to really understand why you're doing this. And this is what I ask all of my clients to do. The very first module in the VIP space they get access to is finding your why. It's creating this inspiring mindset by finding your why. So, your New Year's resolution might be lose weight. Again, very wishy-washy. And even if you have a weight loss goal, say your weight loss goal is 10 kilos. Well, I want to lose 10 kilos. So that's getting a little clearer. But why? Like, what do you want for your life? What is this going to give you? What is actually the reason why? The why behind the why. You may think you want to lose the 10 kilos, but actually you want to fit into your clothes. Or you might have a school reunion. Or you want to have more energy to play with your kids. Or there's something like that. So the 10 kilos itself isn't really important. I find often when people set their goals, their weight loss goals, we might start getting really close to it and then they just go, you know what? I'm really happy with what I've achieved and I'm done. I'm good. I feel really good. I fit into my clothes. I've got my energy. I've got my sleep. My hormones feel fantastic. No more hot flushes. And I'm good. I thought I needed to lose 15 kilos, but actually I'm feeling good. I've lost 11. I don't need to go any further. So having that why behind the why rather than being fixated on a number can be really helpful, particularly with weight loss, but this can be with any other goal, is finding out, or any other New Year's resolution is why do you want it? What's it going to give you? What's going to allow for you? And the easiest way to sit there, to work it out is to sit there with a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil and really ask yourself those questions and just allow the pen to write. So you're really finding out, why am I doing this? What is it going to give me? What's in it for me, And just keep going until you really nut out what is it that I'm going to get from this, from losing this weight or exercising more or eating more healthily or whatever it is, whatever your goal is. That's number one. Be really clear about what you want and why. Secondly, work with an expert. I cannot stress this enough. How many people say to me, I wish I'd started this earlier. I wish I hadn't done all of the things, taken all year or the past 2 years or the past 5 years before actually going to an expert. Yes, it's going to cost more. Of course it is. But you're going to get your goal in so much quicker time and you're going to be feeling good, your life will improve, and the investment is totally worth it. You're going to not waste your time. That is the main thing, as I find people, and particularly when you're in your 40s and 50s, it's like, I don't want to waste my time anymore doing things that don't work. I want to work with an expert. I want to have someone that's going to keep me accountable because I'm time poor. And I've got lots of things to juggle. So if I can have someone that can tell me exactly what to eat, how much of it to eat, when to eat it, and then is going to help me stay on track and is going to let me know, well, you are doing a fantastic job, or is going to let me know, well, the weight isn't coming off as fast as I would expect. So what else is going on? What is the stress like? What is the sleep like? Are you drinking enough water? All of the things that an expert can tell you and can work out for you what's going on if things aren't going according to plan. Working with an expert will also keep you motivated. That is one thing that people really say they love about working with me particularly, is that they know that they're going to be seeing me regularly. And so, they're motivated to keep going because they're like, I don't want to front up to my appointment and not have done what I said I was going to do. And also there's that accountability aspect of it as well, which is so important, particularly as an adult when you don't necessarily have boundaries and structure around you. And some people don't work well with it. If that's the case, then, you've got to find what's going to work for you. In the programs that I run, there's a fair amount of structure, and that makes it easy. I find when people have boundaries, they know exactly what to do, they feel confident, they get results. But, obviously we're in a cost of living crisis at the moment, so not everyone is able to, afford to work with an expert. So if you can't, or if you feel overwhelmed, because there's a huge mental health kind of link to weight, to body image as well. And particularly if you're a comfort eater, if you're someone that has a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, then maybe you find that food is very, very comforting for you. and you're not wanting to, or you have a past history of an eating disorder, for example, and you just know that having any sort of control around food is very, very challenging for you, and it's not something that's going to be serving you. Another reason why I don't get people to sign up on my website is so I make sure that I'm clearing all of that. Then I would recommend that you just take small steps. Take small steps. And small steps might look like, okay, this week I'm going to drink however much water a day. So whether it's 2 liters of water a day, whether you work out your actual body calculation, 35 mils per kilo, and you go, well, I'm going to drink that every single day this week. That's my goal, and that's all I'm going to do. Then that is awesome. And that's going to really serve you, because that's a goal that's pretty achievable for most people. And once you do that, then add on the next layer. And the next layer might be ditching refined sugar. So you're looking at your week and going, okay, what do I normally do? What are my habits? Have a look at the things that you're eating on a daily basis. If you're having breakfast cereal, for example, have a look on the box. What's in the ingredients list? There are many words that are used to hide sugar. Have a look on your ingredients list and look at, do you recognize what every one of those words are? If you're seeing things like maltodextrin, if you're seeing words that you're not really quite sure what they are, what that is as a food, then I'd suggest you're probably better off not eating it and just changing to something similar. If you tolerate dairy, have yogurt and fruit for breakfast. Have oats for breakfast. Rolled oats, not instant oats. Soak them overnight. Pop some chia seeds in them to add some protein and some omega-3s. Pop some peanut butter in for some healthy fats. Pop some fruit in for some antioxidants. So, this doesn't have to be boring food, and it doesn't have to be changing everything all at once if you don't have the means to work with someone that can support you to do that. And even as I mentioned before, just making sure you're having veggies and salads at, you could say every meal, you could say at lunches and dinners, and that it's a great, option. What I mentioned before, pizza, not so good, but throw a salad next to it. That really amps up your nutrition. Here I am, a nutritionist, recommending pizza. It's not what I'm doing, but I'm just saying, if you're like, well, I'm not giving up pasta, I'm not giving up pizza, well, let's relook at how you can manage that on your plate so that you're still going to get a good health outcome, but it's going to work with your family life, your lifestyle. I will absolutely say that if you're seriously wanting to lose weight, having regular pizza and regular pasta, I'm talking multiple times a week, that is not going to serve you. Just wanted to put that out there. I'm not saying that you can have pizza and salad and that's going to get you there, because it's not. It's really about changing your whole mindset around food. And that can be quite challenging, as I said, if you not quite sure how to do that and what that requires. So I hope that's been helpful. That's all I really wanted to talk about today. And I'm really interested to know what you think. I'm also looking for questions for my Q&A Thursday. So please, if you've got a question for me, and particularly around this topic of New Year, New You, New Year's resolutions, losing weight in January, any of that sort of stuff, anything about hormones, perimenopause, menopause, would love to hear from you. Just either if you're on Spotify, you can message me through the podcast. If you are on Instagram, it's at Susie Garden Wellness on Instagram, or you can email me hello@susiegarden.com. I hope you're having a great week, whatever it is that you're doing, and I will see you on Thursday. Thanks so much for joining me today on the Ageless and Awesome podcast. If you liked today's episode, please make sure you click the little plus button if you're on Apple Podcasts, or the follow button if you're on Spotify, so that you can get each new episode delivered to you every single week. If you like free stuff, and who doesn't, then head over to susiegarden.com and grab my 8 essential age-defying secrets every woman over 40 should know right now. Or if you'd like to continue the discussion, head over to Instagram and DM me at Susie Garden Wellness. I'd love to connect with you.